Hey everyone, Ariel Adams here with aBlogtoWatch. Please subscribe to our videos on YouTube and like this video if you find it useful. This is a review of the Citizen Eco-Drive PRT. Reference of this specific model is the AW7030-57E. What does the Citizen PRT stand for? Well, I don't know, but my guess is that like PYT, which stands for Pretty Young Thing, PRT stands for Pretty Round Thing. Maybe that's what it is, maybe that's not what it is. I just made that up and I hope you like it. This is a relatively inexpensive, closer to in-house, entry-level, of course it's in-house, entry-level version of a Citizen Eco-Drive that's sporty, that's nicely sized, it has a good design, and from time to time I really do like reviewing models like this because it kind of reminds me what I would be getting or what I'd be excited about if I was just sort of starting out with watches and my budget was very limited and each $100 I spent was really something I had to think about. You can get a really terrible watch for this money, which is $350. You can get an amazing watch for $350 and sort of everything in between. And so that's why, especially at prices like this, and you want to know what, to be honest, at about $3,500, the situation is exactly the same. You can buy an amazing watch or you can buy a total piece of crap. I haven't sized the bracelet yet here, but I really like this bracelet. Imagine my wrist was a lot bigger or this was smaller. First of all, you have a nice individual links. It's a 3-link design here, so it really fits very comfortably around the wrist. Some watches that they're designed to have links that look like they're more links than they are, meaning it's like one piece of metal has like little folds in it to make it look like it's multiple pieces and it's not as nicely articulated. But here you have a very nicely articulated bracelet in steel, all brushed, and it just looks really handsome. So the bracelet looks, in my opinion, like a more expensive bracelet. Another thing which is important about the bracelet, which I love, is it tapers. It's very hard to find a nice tapering bracelet in a watch like this. And what's great about tapering is it just sort of makes it not only wear more comfortable, it makes it look better. Tapering is more expensive because each of these are a different size as they get smaller until about here where it's basically the same size. That means more parts need to be made, which of course increases the expense. You have a nice triple locking clasp here. No diver's extension, but it's not a dive watch. But you do have a little bit of micro adjust here on the bracelet. Again, I haven't sized this one yet. Pretty simple case back. Case overall is pretty simple. You don't even have anything right here in the crown to signify it's a Citizen. You don't actually see that too much in Citizen watches. I'm trying to think of the other Citizens I have. I'm like looking around on my desk as we speak. I have the I'm looking at one right here. This is actually the Eco-Drive 1. You can see here. God, I love this watch. The Eco-Drive 1. That's for a different review. But you can see the crown there. It's so small they wouldn't be able to have a Citizen logo there. But anyways, I'm just sort of pointing out that the steel case doesn't have that much embellishment on it. But it is a nicely rendered case. Sporty. It has enough angles on it for it to look modern. It's just a well done case. It's nothing special. It's water resistant to 100 meters, just a good sporty case. 42 millimeters wide, like I said, comfortable, not too thick. It's something that you could easily wear every single day, not have to think twice about. Thin, retro style bezel, doesn't turn, but has a nice look to it. It's a fashion bezel. Aluminum insert, of course ceramic is better, but again, this is a relatively inexpensive price point. All the fun is on the dial. Note that the dial is available in a white color as well, which is cool, but black is going to be a little bit more popular. And if for some reason you didn't want this handsome bracelet, this watch comes on some NATO style racing stripe straps, which I think are kind of funny. If you look closely at the dial there, especially in this light, you'll see that it has these vertical stripes. It's supposed to look a little bit like Geneva stripes, which is nice. The hour markers are easy to see, and there's actually a magnifier there, as you can see, over the date, which I think is kind of funny. You just don't see that very much. That's obviously a very kind of Rolex trait. It's just kind of neat to see that in there where there is a magnifier. Hands are a little bit teeny shorter than I'd like, but it's really not that big of a deal because those white hands and hour markers contrast so well with the black dial that the legibility is very good. And then you have here my favorite, which is the power reserve indicator. This watch obviously has a racing watch spirit, so this power reserve indicator is going to look a little bit like a fuel gauge. Now this is a Citizen Eco-Drive, so this is a quartz watch, but it is powered by light. And so this power reserve indicator is literally there to tell you how much charge the battery has. This is not a direct drive watch, which means you can't manually charge it or anything like that using the crown. But it is good to know if your watch, if it's been out of the light for too long, or you're a cave dweller, or whatever it is that you don't wear the watch a lot, or you're not in a lot of light, it'll let you know roughly what the power reserve is. It's the type of complication that on a quartz watch has slightly more limited purpose to it, but there's definitely a purpose, and watches like this are actually a little bit less common. So finding a quartz watch with a power reserve indicator is challenging. That's just a sort of simple quartz watch like this. Most Citizen Eco-Drive watches do not have a power reserve, or if they do, they have a bunch of other stuff. So for this to have just the time and the date and a power reserve indicator with this base movement, which is the Eco-Drive J850, of course in-house made by Citizen, is uncommon. So now I think that's a newer movement actually, so you might start to see this in more watches, but I just thought this was a really nice, handsome assortment of design features and complications and, of course, price. So let's put that on one more time there. Again, that's 42 millimeters wide, wears a little bit on the bigger side, but feels very good on the wrist. The lug-to-lug distance here isn't crazy, so it'll fit a large variety of wrists. I noticed this one. I told Citizen that I need to review it. They're like, really? I'm like, yep, it's a cool watch. So I think this one's going to do very well, especially if there's people who their budget is just a few $100. So again, this is the Citizen PRT, reference AW7030-57E. Retail price is $350, and you can see the full review on aBlogtoWatch. Thanks.